Okay. We now welcome UFC lightweight Jim Miller. Jim, thank you for the time today, sir.
Thank you.
We will kick things off with Jay Anderson from Cageside Press.
Thanks very much. And Jim, welcome back. We hear a lot about recovery time and its importance for athletes as they get older. Here you are, third fight this year. What has you back so soon?
The availability. I'm a fighter that likes to fight. If I could get 4-5 fights a year, I would do that consistently. It's one of those things that there was a time period in my career where I needed a little bit of time off in between fights, but now it's just there's so many things that can pull me away from the gym that it's easier for me to just stay in it and have that fight in the future and just keep going. Fortunately, I've been lucky enough to not really be dealing with any bad injuries. I got the bumps and bruises like everybody else, and deal with the nagging things that I've developed over a career in mixed martial arts. But it's way easier for me to just stay into it and just keep my nose to the grindstone and given the circumstances, there are a lot of cards, and it just makes things easy.
You said in the past, you think you can make 40 fights, 50 might be pushing it, but when you do fight at this pace, does that change how many more you see yourself having left?
It hasn't yet. It might. Like I said, I haven't been dealing with anything that's been too bad lately. I dealt with the shoulder injury from the Oliveira fight, and that's really the most recent thing that I've had to deal with. Doing physical therapy and stuff like that. So, it's been easy enough for me to kind of just be in the gym and like any fight can take a lot out of you, and cause some damage, and any training session can do it as well. It's that's just the matter of fact. That a lot of times, at least for me personally, a lot of the injuries that I deal with now are from training and not necessarily fights. So, it's just kind of it's that double-edged sword. It might catch up to me a little sooner, but at the same time, like I said, it's the hardest part for me now is if I fall out of shape, I get kept away from the gym with family and business and everything else, and hobbies and having fun, and getting back into shape and kind of toning myself down and training easier and safer is hard for me. For me, it's easy just to kind of just keep going and keep on trucking.
And you're doing that this weekend. Obviously, a dangerous fight against Vince from Helpichel. What does he bring to the table that does make him so dangerous?
He doesn't get tired. He just keeps coming forward. It's being 100% honest. Unfortunately, my conditioning has been one of those things that has suffered, in the last couple of years. So it's something that I've been working on and trying to, address. And it's one of those things that there's no excuse for it. I have gotten tired in some of these fights that I've lost, and that's definitely something that he's got, and I have to go out and get the momentum early and keep it. And if I know that if I do that, it's going to be a good fight for me. I feel like he matches up well. I feel like I have an advantage really everywhere the fight goes.
And I imagine you will be hunting the submission in this, but how do you see yourself getting it done?
I see myself landing some good shots on him and making him try to wrestle with me. I've seen in some of his fights that when he does start absorbing some strikes, he reverts to just pressure wrestling and stuff like that. And when he comes forward, I feel like that's when I'm going to catch him.
And last one for me. You've been a part of some huge cards over the years, right back to like UFC 100 and everything. Big heavyweight title fight atop this. How do you see DC Stipe 3 going?
I don't know. It's I'd say that I'd probably pulling for Stipe, but at the same time, man, for DC to go out on top, uh, that'd be pretty awesome. I said it when I was talking to Matt Serra the other day. Like, you know, I want to know going into my last fight that it's my last fight. I'm not going to make an emotional decision, have a crappy performance, and take my gloves off there in the octagon. That's not going to be me. I'm going to know, in the lead up to that fight that it's my last one, and just thinking of that feeling that I hope that DC has with it. It gets me pumped up. Having competed for a vast majority of my life, and to know when I'm going to be hanging them up, at least from like something as big as what MMA has had on my life, as big of an impact it's had on my life. It's going to be an awesome feeling making that last walk to the octagon. And yeah, I mean, if I were in his shoes, I'd be on cloud nine right now, just excited, really, to be able to like kind of drink it in, because there's nothing else after this. So you might as well go out, and fight your heart out.
All right. Well, thanks for everything. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We will take our next questions from Augusto Niez-Gay with Somos MMA.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Jim, you have a ton of experience. You've been over a lot of circumstances during your career, but this is your second fight in this particular pandemic situation. So are you getting used to the new procedures and the new fight week?
It got changed up a little bit on me this time. Last fight week was a little bit different than this one. Things are a little bit tighter this time around. For me, I get such like tunnel vision when I'm fighting that I barely hear my corner. I have to kind of be in that little section of the octagon in order to hear my corner. I never hear them if I'm on the opposite side of the octagon. So for me, fighting with no fans last time, it doesn't really matter, like especially with a fight like that where I went out and in a half a round it's over. I can imagine that being in a tough fight where you're going into the final round and you're tired and bleeding and this and that, and not having that roar of the crowd would be something that would affect me. I hope not, but it definitely does give you that energy when you're in those fights. But yeah, the whole procedures thing, like I'm the type of guy that I just sit in my room anyway. I'm just focused on drinking a ton of water and then cutting weight, and then fighting on Saturday. So I'm not the type of fighter that goes out and goes to the movies or goes to the mall or anything like that and kind of sees the sights, unfortunately. But yeah, so for me, it's really no different than really any other fight.
And is there anything that you miss about the fights before the pandemic? Maybe the crowd?
Yeah, hell yeah, I miss the crowd. I mean, that's one of the things too. Like going back to that retirement talk with with DC's fight. Like I don't know if I could do it without a crowd. Like I've fought so many times in front of the fans that I don't know if I would want to have my last one in this atmosphere. I feel like it's something that I'd want to share, but yeah, it is different. It does. It kind of, it sucks. It sucks not fighting, or fighting without the fans here, but I've always said that I'd fight, anybody, anywhere, and prove it by going into an empty arena and fighting guys there. So it's awesome to have the fans on your side, and it's awesome to just hear them and you get energy from it. But it's not why I fight. It's just a positive of fighting and putting on good fights.
Um, is there anything you like about all these new fight weeks? Is there anything that you say this could be implemented in the future?
Um, you know, I mean, it's definitely it's cool. Like, I it's fun sometimes to hang out at at the fights afterwards. But last time, coming out fighting, banging out some press, and then just being in the car and going back to the hotel room to take a shower and and have a beer. That was pretty cool. I suppose I could do that anytime, any one of the fights, unless there was a press conference. But yeah, it's I kind of like that because we were at a casino going to a steakhouse when the main event was it's still in the first round at that last one. So I can't really complain about that. I thought that was pretty cool.
My one, you have been talking about DC, about hanging the gloves, and I really enjoyed to see you fight. So please tell me that we are pretty far from seeing your last fight.
We are. Yeah, it's definitely not going to be Saturday night, but yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty focused on hitting 40 right now, and then there's that side of me that's like, well, I get to 40, and that's another year and a half or so, and UFC 300 is sneaking up on us. So that would I'd be in my 40s at that point, but we'll see how it goes. I'm feeling really good right now. There's nothing, not dealing with anything major, and yeah, it's I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying training, even in this. There are the aspects of it that do suck, like not having my students at the gym, but kind of like condensing training sessions and stuff like that just to minimize the amount of traffic at the gym and this and that. It's been pretty cool. So I'm really enjoying the process that we have going on right now, and like I said, my body's responding to it well. So we're gonna keep on rolling.
Okay, great to hear that, and it was awesome to talk with you. Thank you very much, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will take our next data with
Tim, how you doing? Hello.
Is that me? Yeah. Hello.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
Hi. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing well, thank you. So, first thing I wanted to ask you was, you've already fought once in an empty arena back in June. You'll be doing once again this weekend. So, having competed in so many fights in the UFC, what is the experience of fighting in an arena with no audience?
Um, for me, it wasn't that different because the fight was short. Um, like I said before, if I was in a fight like that first fight with Lozon or something like that, or my fight with Poirier, where you're just in it. It's a scrap, and you're bleeding, you're limping, you're hurt, and you're going back to the corner, and there's no crowd roaring or cheering. Um, you know, it gives you it gives you a rush. It gives you an energy rush. So to not have that, I think would suck. But yeah, fortunately, like my last fight, I didn't need that, and my plan is to not need it again. Come Saturday. So yeah, it's when I step into the octagon, I don't see outside the octagon. I barely hear anything. All I hear kind of is just like static during the fight. Occasionally, I'll hear my corner yelling at me. So for me, it's like it doesn't matter if there was a million fans or if there weren't any. All I focus on is that guy standing in front of me.
So, last time around, you fought a young up and comer in Roosevelt Roberts, but this time it'll be a veteran like Vince Mitchell. So, what's it like for you to fight someone who's almost as experienced as you are?
It's a fight. Everybody's dangerous. Roosevelt was dangerous, and Vince, is going to be dangerous. So, it's yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many fights the guy's been in. You know, like the way I look at it is that I fought just about everybody. You know, from guys who went on to become world champions and guys who were former world champions, and you know, from third degree black belts in jiu-jitsu and phenomenal strikers. So it's I fought them all. I've seen everything. You know, so for me, you know, Vince he is older than Roosevelt, and he has been in the UFC for a bit, but he hasn't fought the guys that I fought. So I feel like I do have a massive experience advantage, but at the same time, it doesn't really mean anything when it comes right down to it. You know, I've seen everything, so I'm not going to overreact to things and you know, get caught off guard. But yeah, and when it comes down to a fight, it really doesn't matter all the time.
So, final question from me. This will be a third fight of this year, but given that you're in your mid-30s right now, is there a particular goal you have in your mind of how many fights you want to have in a year?
I like to fight, you know, every 3 months or so. You know, if I got to fight as often as I would have liked to, you know, I'd probably already be at 40 fights in the UFC. You know, unfortunately, I have had to deal with, you know, getting shelved a little bit here and there, you know, waiting for New York cards or Newark cards, stuff like that. So, yeah, I like to fight. It's easier for me to stay in the gym and just keep training and keep improving myself and stay in shape than to have that period of time off where I just get pulled out of the gym for whatever reason, you know, some really good ones and some, you know, some not as good, like just messing around in my shop or something like that. So, you know, yeah, it's just easier for me to keep fighting. So, you know, hopefully, I'm going to have a good night on Saturday, come out of this one healthy. And, I'd like to fight, you know, maybe end of the year card.
Thank you for your time and good luck for your fight this week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is had for you.
Thank you.